This is the story of me agreeing to get an older woman pregnant and then her trying to ruin my life. When I was 23, I had a one-night stand with a girl from my hometown named Maria. We both knew it was nothing more than that, and we didn't speak after. Several months later, I received a text from her saying that she hadn't been lucky in love and she wanted a baby before it was too late. So she asked if I would get her pregnant and I wouldn't have to bear any responsibility, like a sperm donor. I considered it and I first thought no, but after some time to think about it, I thought it'd be the right thing to do for someone struggling.
The right thing to do? On what planet? From the get-go, this doesn't sound like a good idea. And remind me again as to why she can't get a sperm donor if she has no interest in this guy being a part of the child's life. And don't tell me it's because she can't afford it, because she's looking to bring a new life into this world. And that isn't cheap. So if she can't afford a donor, she sure as hell can't afford to raise a baby.
So we filled out an ironclad agreement and, basically I wouldn't be responsible at all. A while later, she told me she was ovulating, and then a few weeks after that, she told me she was pregnant and it had worked. I went back to California for work, and we didn't speak after that. Unbeknownst to me, she contacted my family behind my back and invited them to the baby shower.
Damn, she got pregnant quick. How many times did they hook up during that short window of time? I still can't get over the fact that he'd even agree to do this with someone. And so much for him not having to be in the child's life, because now she's got his family involved. Even if he didn't want to have anything to do with the baby, his family would probably make it very hard. And if he still decided to bounce, he'd look like a dick.
They then began getting dinner or whatever regularly, and as she got to know my parents started encouraging me to be in the baby's life, and once I found out it was a little girl, I thought it was the right thing to do.
The right thing to do would have been to never agree to this whole thing in the first place. I swear to God, sometimes it's like people go out of their way to make stupid decisions.
I flew home to be there for the birth, and I got a tattoo of our daughter's middle name before she was born. After our daughter was born, Maria wanted us to be together and be a family.
Wait, I know we can't fully see the first message, but can we get a readout of this, please?
I want to try and make it work with us being a family. Can we do that? I want to be with you, Brett. I hate when you leave us. I just need you to say something or how you feel about that.
I'm sorry, but that isn't what I want to do.
That hurt.
This woman's absolutely nuts, and to be honest, so is he, because this was a completely avoidable situation. He took being a good Samaritan too far.
And when I said I didn't want to do that, she wouldn't let me see my daughter. My main source of income at the time was the Airbnb that I owned.
Damn, that's a lot of text. Can we get a reading of that too? I'm too lazy to go through it.
The baby and I need to stay in your house for like 2 months until I can get our own place, and so that I can save a little more. I am taking a position remote, which comes with a huge pay cut, but I won't have to put our daughter in daycare and I can be home with her. Looks like we're closing this property on June 9th in Metairie, so I'm hoping to be packed up and out of this apartment the weekend prior to the 9th. I'll put all of my stuff in storage, except for our clothes. Can we stay there? Kind of important you respond. You're deliberately ignoring me, and it's extremely frustrating considering I'm asking you to put a roof over your daughter's head. If you don't want to help us, then let's see a lawyer and sign your rights away.
Given their initial agreement, he shouldn't have had any rights to begin with. But this is what happens when you do stuff like this without going through the proper channels. Ultimately though, this whole thing sucks for the child because they didn't ask to be brought into a mess like this.
And she said this a few months after she was born. I felt bad, so I let her move in for several months, rent-free. Once she moved out, she told me this: I've never done anything to warrant supervised visits, but I agreed to keep the peace.
You already know what I'm going to ask.
This is what I want. I want you to pay her daycare, the full amount. You can have her 1 full weekend a month if you stay at your parents'. Let me know if this works for you. Let's just figure this out before you get into town. I don't want to have to speak to you anymore. Okay, so is this okay? I want to get this over with. Can you please respond? We are talking about our child. We talked about having some kind of agreement by this evening, Brett, so we need to figure this out. If you don't respond to me, I'm going to quit responding to you.
1 weekend a month is crazy to me, and daycare's not cheap. Surely she could do better than that. There definitely needs to be more regulations around mothers, and in some cases, fathers, not letting the other parent see their child regularly.
I would come home as often as I could to see our daughter, and things were usually okay when I was there. These are all from her Facebook. One Halloween, I didn't want to wear matching costumes with Maria, so she wouldn't let me see my daughter for a while.
This is what I mean. No way should one parent be able to stop the other from seeing their child. It's ridiculous, and on top of that, she probably still expects the daycare payments to continue. If them not having matching costumes is her reason for not allowing him to see his daughter, well,
mental health.
And when our daughter was being baptized, I drove a 14-hour round trip from Nashville to attend. And because I didn't want to see Maria the night before, she didn't allow me to come to the baptism at all. Soon after this, she served me with child support, saying that our original contract wasn't valid because our daughter didn't have a social security number yet. And I didn't fight her on it. I didn't have the time. I was living away. I ended up paying her $10,000 up front and $750 a month.
$10,000 up front has got to sting a little, and $750 a month is quite the burner too, which is why I'd never want any part in this whole baby mama or co-parent thing. And at the end of the day, he wouldn't even know if that money's going towards the child.
I was able to move home soon after that, and I began seeing our daughter regularly. Everything was going really well until I got a girlfriend. Even though she had a boyfriend who was regularly around our daughter, she said that my girlfriend couldn't be around our daughter. I was able to get our daughter for an afternoon, and Maria asked what I was doing. I told her that I was with my girlfriend and we were at Lowe's together. She freaked out. I said I'd bring her daughter back to her as soon as we were done, but instead Maria drove to Lowe's, apparently called my dad, and was running up and down the aisle screaming. I don't know what actually happened, but she was freaking out, just blowing up my phone, thinking she was in danger. And keep in mind, my girlfriend is a mom as well as a nurse. Our daughter was never in any danger. When I offered Maria and my girlfriend to get to know each other so they'd be comfortable, my daughter being around, she immediately said no and called my girlfriend a word that rhymes with chore and refused to get to know her. Maria then made a public post saying that I was a deadbeat dad and that I hadn't seen our daughter in weeks. Here I am with our daughter just a few days prior to this post. I also left my best friend's bachelor party a day early.
Wait, let's get a proper reading of this.
Something my heart will always hurt for my daughter. I wish I had the choice to remove someone from her life, so she doesn't have to experience the immense amount of pain she'll feel one day when she realizes that someone who is supposed to be so important in her life is absent most of the time. One thing she'll never have to worry about is that I'll always show up for her and I'll never make her feel half loved.
Sorry to cut in, but wasn't she all about only allowing him to see his daughter one weekend per month? So what is she talking about? Anyway, let's check out the replies.
Quit talking shit, man.
Talking shit? Are you commenting on the correct post? There's no shit talking here. Looks like she's expressing some hard truths and concerns with her daughter. It's called parenting. You and your brother could both take notes.
He's defending someone who's shoveling hot dogs down his throat like Instagram likes, going on a world tour for the rest of the year. According to his most recent post, leaves his daughter with his parents on his weekend so he can travel, and skip town this weekend to miss another Father's Day with his child. This is just this month. The list goes on and on. Don't come at me. Truth is coming out, and I'm not afraid to share it to the public anymore.
Just for the record, I think Richard, the guy who responded, is Brett's brother, just in case you were wondering why he left a comment on her post to begin with.
So I could be home for Father's Day, and she still wouldn't allow me to see her. She even said this to my grandmother.
You know what to do.
This is why you should date and marry someone who wants a life with you. Because children are going to live with these choices. Your daughter is precious, but she didn't come into this world under normal choices and circumstances. The guy had no clue what he was getting into. I truly wish you and your daughter a wonderful life, but choices have consequences. Praying for you to find the guy you're meant to have and the life that makes you happy.
Your response is sickening to me, but I guess you're his grandmother. Of course you'll respond with something like this. The fact that you could turn this around on me and not recognize that he decided he wanted to be a father. He had every chance to walk away, and honestly, I wish he would have. But he was there at the hospital. He chose to sign the birth certificate. So whatever happened prior to our daughter went out the window. You don't get to be a half-assed dad, sorry. It's his family that enables his behavior. Let's not forget that both him and his brother have both abandoned their children for long periods of time. Something is seriously wrong with all of you guys.
Damn. This Maria chick is wild. But Brett never should have agreed to this nonsense in the first place. Also, this whole situation goes to show that you should never make verbal agreements with people that they can easily go back on. Because at the end of the day, you could find yourself getting screwed in the worst ways. Come on, guys. You've got to protect yourself at all times. Anyway, let's carry on.
And your grandson put his thing in anything that walks because he's reckless or he doesn't know what he was getting himself into. So the next poor girl who gets pregnant by him, are you going to say, well, your actions have consequences when he decides to be absent from that child's life too? Please don't come at me. I don't care to hurt any of your feelings anymore. Okay, bye.
Maria's crazy as sin, but she's right. Actions have consequences, and when you make stupid choices in life, you have to live with whatever comes of it.
She had her friends comment mean things on my girlfriend's social media multiple times, even though my girlfriend has never been anything but nice to Maria. Because Maria tends to do this, I want to make sure that she doesn't twist the story and make it seem like I abandoned our daughter.
So, I guess that's why he decided to make this video. I wonder how she's feeling right now, because this video went super viral on TikTok, and at the time of making this video, it had just over 15 million views, which is crazy.
I recently found out that our daughter isn't mine. I don't know who the dad is, but I've had 2 paternity tests done, and they both say this.
What the actual fuck? And this is probably why the video went so viral. Man, he should have had a paternity test done before he signed that birth certificate. And even though this is a unique situation, I think it's something guys should get in the habit of doing. Because at the end of the day, you just never know.
I believed Maria when she told me that I was the only possible father. The situation was weird, but I was always happy to be a dad. I knew that Maria already knew she was pregnant. She had to have when she asked me to get her pregnant. I didn't think that was something that someone would lie about to another human being.
Which makes sense as to how she got pregnant so fast. There's nothing shocking about women lying about this sort of thing though. I mean, this happens in marriages, so why wouldn't it happen with a random hookup? You've got to use your head, man.
Not only to me, but my entire family as well. Everybody's distraught about this. Maria, I allowed you to paint me as the villain and you as the victim for years to keep peace, but I hope you know that the only victim here is your child.
The way he said your child makes it seem like he doesn't want to be involved with either of them. And honestly, I don't blame him. That being said, I feel terrible for the daughter because she didn't ask for this. Now, we have another child in the world who doesn't know who or where her real father is. And for all we know, he might not even know she exists. But seeing how viral this video's gone, maybe he'll find out soon enough. Anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Let me know in the comments, and I hope to catch you on the next one.